We all know that one student, they don't really pay attention in class, they're just leaning back, chilling, not really writing anything down, always just handing in their homework on the deadline, they're not really doing anything early, putting in minimal effort, it seems like. But when it comes to the grades, when it comes to the test day, they always seem to do better than us. You can become that student, man. I know you can because I've done it. I upped my grade by over 20% on average in only 3 months using 3 techniques, and you can too. The first one is to listen, not write. So many people are so obsessed with writing down notes. Ever since we were young, it's been drilled into our education system that you just memorize everything. But that's not really the way to learn effectively. The best thing you can do is pay attention. Whenever you're in lesson, rather than trying to write down something every time the teacher says it, just watch. Imagine it's like a lecture. Imagine it's like a movie. Just lie back and watch and pay attention when you're watching. Don't just fall asleep, but try and truly understand the concepts behind why your teacher is doing what they're doing. Don't just memorize there's a formula. Watch the teacher use it, and then when it comes to actually learning the formula, just do a few problems that use this formula and it will stick so much better than just, remembering the formula, just memorizing the formula. It won't stick that way. It will only stick if you actually do problems, and you'll be able to apply it to so many more things than just the basic problems where you have to memorize. If anything, I challenge you to try this. Just the next lesson you have with a teacher you like, half of your lesson, I want you to write everything down. Take notes as you usually would. In fact, make sure you put extra effort into your notes. The other half, I want you to put your pen and paper away, or your iPad, or whatever you take notes with. Close it, and just watch. Pay attention. Fully look at the board the whole time. Ask meaningful questions, and see where you end up. I promise you, by the end of that lesson, you will have learned so much more in the second half than the first half. And comment if I'm wrong. Try it and comment if I'm wrong. I promise you, if I am right, you'll comment and say, yes, well done, that I wish I never knew this. Why does no one tell me this? It's because it makes school so easy. It's like you don't have to study after school and you still get really good grades. I can go out whenever I want after school because I do this. If I was the kind of person to just write everything down rather than using the textbook that has been made by the exam board, that's made with the specification, I make my own notes and I make something which is subpar compared to what the exams want. It just doesn't make sense, does it, if you think about it? Next, focus on your mistakes. Stop trying to read ahead. So many people are obsessed with impressing the teacher by trying to read ahead onto the next chapter. You're on chapter 4 and they've read chapter 6. But you don't gain anything. Yeah, you can put your hand up and say, oh, miss, I know the answer, sir, I know the answer. But does it affect your final result? Not really. The time you would spend on this is going to be wasted in lesson, because imagine you've just learned chapter 5 early. When you're studying chapter 5 in school, your teacher is teaching it, you already know it, so you're not getting much out of the lesson. Whereas if you were to already do the questions which your teacher gives you, and then spend that same time on filling in your mistakes. So what I like to do is when I've got my homework problems, I do all of them, and then for review, all of the questions I get wrong, that's where I focus my study. And I don't just look at the mark sheet and then see, oh, I could have done this, oh, maybe I made a mistake. No, I actually relearn that chapter. So I'll just reread the chapter from the textbook that the exam boards make. And then I'll redo the question, and usually I'll get it right the next time. If I don't, I'll go to my teacher and have them explain it. It's so much easier that way than trying to read ahead, because when it comes to exam season, both of you would have finished all of the content. But one of you has spent 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 hours refining the mistakes, whereas the other one has just focused on trying to get ahead and impress the teacher, when that does nothing to your grade. When your exam results are key and you just want to prioritize getting good grades, only raise your hand to ask questions. Whenever you're confused, ask questions. I'm not saying be silent, but don't try and be obsessed with impressing the teacher, because they don't care. They know that you know how to read. They'll be, oh, okay, my student can read the next chapter. Great, cool, they can read. They won't care about this kind of thing. What they will be happy with is, oh, they've just got 15% more than last time. And when you keep progressing, you will get better. And when it comes to final exams, you would have put so much more time into actually refining your mistakes. so you'll get a better grade. It's as simple as that. And finally, have a creative outlet. So for me, this is making videos for you. It could be to play football or another sport. It could be to volunteer at a hospital. Something where you do meaningful work that isn't purely academic will allow you to progress as a person and will develop your academics. It becomes like a cycle. They complement each other. Whenever you're working academically, you're putting your hours and you feel good. And you're like, yes, I can find you. I can go do something creative. I can film. I can go support at the hospital. I can play football with my friends. And then when you've done all of this and you are tired of the creative stuff, you can be like, yes, I can just go sit down in my cozy study space, which I've built quite nicely, and I can get a bunch of work done and I can progress in this way. And they complement each other and you get better mentally and your studies also get better. You'll notice that most people that are like this aren't obsessed with studying. They enjoy it because they've learned how to enjoy it. Enjoyment isn't something that will come naturally for some people. For some people it just will. But for you and for me, I have to learn to enjoy things. So you can learn to enjoy your studies, but you have to have other things which are creative, which you also enjoy. There's a reason some of the best musicians are also the best mathematicians. And the other way also goes around. You can do both, and that is what will be best for you, and that is what will truly allow you to become that student without having to put as much effort in as people that are just spending their whole life studying and sleeping and addicted to these short-term dopamine hits that might be more fun in the short term, but in the long term weaken their total focus time and weaken their ability to progress in studies. And that is how you will truly be successful. And in the comments, let me know if this actually improves your grades, because I promise you it will. Everyone I've tried this with has genuinely said to me something along the lines of that this has been so much better, and that I wish someone explained this to me earlier. You will be the next to do this. Comment down below once you've done this. I'll see you soon. Join the Discord and stuff.